Hello everybody and welcome back to Tenochtitlan. It's been a while, but we're back and we have a lot of stuff to do today. So, to start off, came into the temple square because, we did a lot of it last episode, but we hadn't done quite enough. It didn't look quite finished. So, to try and decorate the place a bit, I started building up a podium, which I was going to put a statue. This statue, I really like the look of it. So I repeated it on the other side, and I think the cobblestone, which I was talking about last episode, this whole square does look quite bland, very sandy. So I thought the cobblestone actually made it a little bit better because it adds more variety for colour and texture as well. So it looks a lot nicer. So finishing off the second statue. Just panning around that now. So also I noticed that we hadn't actually got the square to be quite even on either side, so I came around widening it, and then I decided to put in more cobblestone as fencing. Because I thought, well, yeah, it really does help out with how it looks, and this crenellation pattern that I'm going for is quite fitting to the architecture of the square itself. So I came around and started doing the same pattern all around the square, starting behind the temple. Then I came back, did it around the side facing the other half of the island, which is the part we're going to focus on today. After this wall is finished, we need to build up what I promised last time, which is the palace. So you can see, just starting out now, is I'm digging out a canal, because the city was famous for its canals. So what I'm doing is just digging out a large area and then filling it in with mossy stone brick, because, well, stone brick first adds some more variety to the kind of sandstone feel that we were getting before, but also because it's mossy, it looks generally more suited when it's covered in water, because it looks like there's a lot of algae and moss and stuff there. So I came around and found a design that I quite liked with stone steps on either side. Filled in that first section. Now the initial plan was to carry on digging this straight across the island, but I thought that a straight divide it wouldn't look quite so nice. It would look the island would end up looking very square if we kept doing that. So instead I decided to let the canal follow the road that we'd already built. So I started digging out a diagonal channel, which led to the road junction, and I thought this would actually look a bit nicer than a straight canal anyway, because it's, like I said before, more variety, looks good. So I started filling that in, and dug it out a bit more, then came back and filled the rest in with the mossy bricks, as you can see, and then did the same with the stairs on either side. Then it was time to go back and fill this section in with water, as you can see we're doing now, before finally moving on to the last channel, which goes to the side of the island we haven't actually been to yet. And also, by doing this canal, it adds to the theme of the city, because that's what was there, but also it makes us have like a separate island, almost, which the palace was going to be on. So I thought that would look very nice. So to continue that theme, after I built this canal, was what I started to do was fill in the other side of the canal. You can see it's all dirt over there. So I started filling that in to be the same cobblestone pattern we had before. And the plan was to use that all around this island that we've got here. Now this island is going to have the market and the palace and a little residential area on it, I think, if we can fit it all in. So to start off, I built a bridge across from the main road, because there's not much point having a palace and a market if you can't get there. So I made a basic bridge out of sandstone and cobblestone. I was pretty happy with the design. And then finally I came around and just added the road. Now this was initially meant to be a road, but I later changed that so it didn't lead straight to the palace, and there was going to be a square there later. But we came around and we started doing the cobblestone wall pattern. It's going to surround the entire island, and I used this this kind of theme of canals and like canal made islands from I got inspired by Venice and the architecture there. So that was my basis for this kind of design, and I think it really works out. So I'm just coming around and just filling in the pattern. This took quite a while. Now I was initially going to just completely destroy all the land around the walls to give it a more make the city look more kind of aquatic and like it was kind of floating in the water, but then I realised actually that would be a bad idea, because if we're going to come back and do the floating farms which are here, which we are, then there's not much point taking away the land if you're just going to put it back. So I decided to leave it there, and also it gives a little bit more atmosphere to the area as well. So I'm just digging away here, but leaving enough land so that we can build floating farms in it later. Came around and lit the place up with torches. And we finally joined up with the other side of the island, so it's now kind of completely surrounded by canal/lake. And just filled that in with water. And then I came onto the island itself and started digging out the square. Now to dig it out took quite a lot longer than I'd initially thought. So to speed things up for filling it in again, what I did after I dug it out was just hopped into Minecraft Edit and just plonked down a sandstone square so that I didn't have to do it manually, which did save a lot of time. As you can see there. And so the next thing to do was to come in and do the palace itself. Now there's a lot of images of Moctezuma's palace on the internet, which I used as I just use them for reference, and it's kind of sort of pyramid shaped, and I quite like that design, so I tried to replicate it as best I could. It's got this central staircase going up the middle. However, I did change it slightly with I added more stone bricks and stuff like that to add decoration, which I did. I think I didn't regret doing that at all. It was quite a nice thing to add. And I did the crenellations pattern that's seen a lot around the city that we've done so far. And when that was done, I decided to fill in the first floor, and then started work on the central room and the first floor. I got the main entrance there out of stone brick. Filling it in with sandstone afterwards. First floor pretty much done. I'm going to come around later and add the windows so you can see in all the drawings of it in a bit. And then I decided to continue with our stone brick decoration up into the next floor. Now these two left and right wings, they're on the second floor. They are not going to be rooms. They're just going to be kind of big luxury balconies. But hey, this is the Emperor's Palace. That's a pretty good thing to have if you're an emperor. So I started work on the central tower, which is palace right in the middle there, adding a big window, and just filled it in sandstone again, and the crenellation of two balconies. Now the roof was something I wasn't quite sure about. I initially wanted to do kind of like a Mayan style pointed roof, but that plan didn't work out. So I came around and I changed it. I changed it up to something that I did see in the picture, which was you had all these kind of patterns on the side in the sandstone. So I came around and just edited those in myself with stone stairs or sandstone stairs. And I was pretty satisfied with the overall result, but I felt that it didn't look finished on the roof, so I started doing these kind of braziers with flames in it. Don't ask why, because I saw them and I put them there, and then I put them up there, and I thought they really do not fit at all. So after I'd done these windows at the front of the palace, I decided I really did regret doing the braziers, and I came around and removed them, which you can see here, just after I've built this window at the front, and they are no longer at the top. Now the next thing to do was to fill in these areas at the sides, and they're not quite big enough for houses, so I started planting trees so we could have a kind of park area, which I thought would be nice, because no city is made up of just buildings. There are parks and areas for nature as well. So I added those in, and no regrets, they look very nice, very scenic as well. Because of the Emperor, I mean, yeah, it's very nice to have your palace surrounded by some parks and areas where you can just go around and hang about in the trees. Be a nice place. So this area was next, and I filled that in with some layouts and plans of what I was going to build there, which was just some housing for the rich. I think would be a good thing to build next to the Emperor's palace. Now most houses in the Aztec Empire, I had to look it up, they're mostly single story, but there were a couple that were two-story. So I did add a couple of those in to the residential area, because I mean these are rich houses, they're going to have rich people who can afford to have a bigger house. And also having more than one story in a house makes the whole area look more varied anyway. So I don't really have any regrets about that, because it's more appealing to look at. And then I did the kind of Mayan style roof on the two-story houses that I was going to use on the palace before. So I came around and just started doing the houses by the lakeshore. Now one of these was going to be single-story and another one was going to be two-story, just to mix things up a bit. But first I did this house here by the square, which was also single-story. Finally moving on to the house by the lake. And finally, the very last house in the corner, which I think is the nicest house, in the corner of the canal and where the lake meets it. So I did some extra large windows there, 3 blocks wide, and did the conical roof again. And I think this residential area looks quite nice. And here we are, panning around, coming across the lake now, going along to the temple square as the moon rises behind the great temple. You see the statues are built. Got just panning around, going down the canal, and I think this area looks really nice. And, panning around that, and there you have it, the market district, and with the palace as well. So, as usual, thanks for watching. and we'll be back next time with I think we're going to do probably a residential area. I think just a more yeah, a larger one, so that we can have more housing. It'll look generally nicer. So as usual, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.